Should go live any second. You are live. So hello everybody and welcome to the channel, Bob Sales, this time's next year. So again we've got some of the VEVE mate team, we've got Dukkencuvva1 in the top there. And of course we've got anand1kenobi down the bottom there. Are you alright lads? How are you doing everyone?
Good mate,
good to see you.
How's everyone doing?
Very good, thank you. Good to see you
Nice
as well.
It is good to see you. So this is actually like the first live stream we've ever done on the channel. So if we don't keep up with the comments or if something does go wrong, please forgive us because it is very off the cuff right now. So yeah. But apart from that, how's things guys? Any luck? Did any of you go for the Ant-Man drop today by any chance? I was going to ask you.
To be honest, mate, I forgot that it was even happening until I got on here for the stream and I saw that Vault had the stream going. I was like, yeah, that's right, there's a comic drop today, isn't it? But I don't really care, man. Like, you know me, I don't do comics, so...
Totally.
Yeah, Ant-Man today.
I totally forgot as well. I was on a work call, I think, or something, but things like that are usually cheaper on the secondary anyway, so I don't feel a massive loss there. But
well, to be fair, it didn't really sell a lot.
Well,
so I'm looking at it right...
Yeah,
I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it now. There's about, I would say, about 3,000 left.
Wow. Okay.
So it's not that good.
Yeah, I'm not shocked by that really. I mean, I don't really pay much attention to the comics anyway. Sometimes I'll go to Vault stream just to hang out and chill with the crew and be part of the vibe. But I only really go for the Grails, man. I've only got 4 comics and they're all GM83 uncommons. So
most of mine are comics. Go on, Anand, what was you going to say,
sometimes I go for it just for the rush. It's like a gamble, though, because you know you're likely to end up with a $2 comic or something at the end of it. Like, day before yesterday, the other... Was it another Ant-Man drop?
Yeah.
Someone, yeah, I got 2 of those, and both 2 really crap commons. So, yeah, I just thought, no, let's just leave it. That was the first one I went for in a while.
But see, this. I mean, I've been watching over the last few months. I've been watching Crypto Pro and learning how to make money.
Yeah.
$2 at a time. I don't want to be out there bleeding money $2 at a time.
Yeah. See, I'm the other way around. I'm a bit in between. I can make the money, but I can also like hold my stuff if I like the stuff. If that makes sense.
Oh yeah. So,
but I also do end up losing the money because then I go for the drops carelessly, like the Chucky, for instance. And then, like, don't really sell. But, I mean, at the minute, it's sitting at 45 gems the last time I checked, so... But
that's all right. That's doing all right, then, for one that's not even sold out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not
well, I expected after Lambo it might sell out, but obviously now we've seen the prices of the Lambos. Obviously, I think everyone's trying to spend their money on Lambos.
Well, I'm trying to get some more. Man, after this drop, like, I've never really been a big car person, but... when the computer game comes, when the VEVEverse comes, you're going to want the sexiest cars to get around in you. So, you're going to want a Lambo.
How many have you got now? The 2?
Yeah.
I've got 2, yeah. I want more, though, for sure. I started looking at you. I think you saw it, Bob, when I posted it on Twitter. I started looking at videos, doing reviews on the STO, the Hurricane STO.
Yeah.
And that's a beast of a car, man. Like, it's an absolute beast. So, yeah, man, I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, man, these floors are definitely not where they should be. It might take time to get there, but that car will go up in price, man, for sure.
I'm thinking that about everything, though, about floors not being where they should be. I don't know.
Yeah, but at the same time, I mean, who was talking about? The Gale was talking about that on Twitter, I think today or yesterday. He made a tweet talking about, we don't really know what premium collectible means until we get more competition in the market and we've got more stuff to compare it to. And I said in response to that look, I agree with you. The McFarlane ones, they're definitely premium, and we do definitely have a lot of stuff on VEVE that could be considered premium, including this Lambo. But there is also a bunch of stuff that I wouldn't really put into that envelope yet. I think that when other companies start coming out with their versions of 3D collectibles, it's going to put some of the stuff we've got on VEVE to shame, and it's just going to fade into the background.
Okay, yeah, I understand the hype in that, but I wasn't bothered myself just because of the symbolism of the making it in the crypto game and the memes about it with Wojak and everything. But yeah, not too fussed myself. And it just, like, if you rewind to drops 2 months ago, let's say, I don't know, like the bat signal, people were all fawning all over that, and now it's $10. So I think I bought one at about 20 even. So it just things get pushed.
Yeah, I picked one up at 18 just because I wanted a bat signal, you know.
Yeah.
I brought 5. I brought 5 at about 22 gems, I think, and I don't think I own one at the minute. But obviously they were to go on the VEVE roof, but then after that more stuff's come, and I've just, changed it again.
Yeah, I'm being far more selective on what I buy for my long-term holds.
Yeah.
I mean, I've started doing what Crypto Pro does to sort of make a little bit of money here and there, and I'm just looking at what moves a lot and looking at the prices they get down to and the prices they get up to before they drop again, and playing that game.
How's that going?
Well, look, man, like for the first year, like a lot of there's this big argument going on about whether this is an investor's app or a collector's app, and I think that just depends on who you talk to. Like a lot of I think most of the people still are people who are investors who became collectors because of VEVE, but I'm the other way around, right? I'm a collector who came on here who sort of saw the opportunity to start making money and having a go at it. So, and I was just really bad at it. For the first year, I was just losing money left, right, and centre because I was selling things that I lost to buy the next shiny thing and all that stuff. But, I've learned from my mistakes. And, the last sort of 6 months, I haven't been making, like, piles of money, but it's extremely rare that I sell something for a loss these days.
That's good. Good job.
Yeah.
So Crypto Pro, that's trading for cryptocurrencies, I guess.
Oh, man, crypto, I haven't even really got into that yet.
He's mainly a VEVE guy, Crypto Pro.
Oh, you're talking about Crypto Pro? Yeah. Well, I mean, I watch his videos about VEVE. If he does videos about other stuff, I don't know.
Yeah, I think he's mainly VEVE on his channel, but I'm not sure if I think he started his crypto and all that before.
Right.
But he's the guy that does that weird laugh and he goes, yeah! All that. Is that right? that was a bad impression, but yeah, close enough, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
so I'm not sure if I've actually rubbed our comment section over here, guys, because I think I put our private comment in the live chat right now.
Yeah.
So I'm not, and I can't actually delete it, so that's going to give everyone a laugh. So yeah.
Are there people here? I'm on the comment section. I don't see anything coming up. But...
There's no one here at the minute, luckily for us.
Yeah.
But I can see Anna's just come up there. But yeah, for some reason that's gone into the actual comment section rather than the private chat. Can you actually see them your side?
Yeah, I can see them.
I can see them.
Yeah, I don't know why that's done that. And I can't delete them. So as you can see, technical difficulties. Our first stream, it was always going to happen. So forgive us for that. They are only talking points, which, as you can see, we've totally missed so far. So it really doesn't matter that they're there. But yeah, we'll fix that next time. So what I was going to say, Lambos, people. So talking about Lambos, did we get any Lambos on the drops?
Not me.
I got super lucky. I hit one on the drop, another one on the rebound.
Nice.
Both uncommons, but
should it be capped to one per person? What do you think?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it probably should have done, but then at the same time that affects the market after, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because once it's one per person, you can't buy multiple on the market, I think.
And then I guess these things not selling out will end up even worse because some people will go for 5 comics, for example, just for a gamble on trying to get a secret rare.
Yeah. Well, mine went complete crap show yesterday. Like, complete. Like, I done the worst mistake ever. I was supposed to, you're always told to put your gems in first. Never reserve it, then try to purchase your gems. It's the worst amateur thing you can ever do. And then I believe someone on Twitter the other day that was like, yeah, the last 2 years I've done it the same way each time. And then I thought, this time things are a bit tight. I don't really want to put extra gems in if I don't need to. I had enough to go for 2. And then obviously I hit it, and then for 4 minutes I'm sat there with the gems processing. So yeah. And then I go back, no buy now button, no nothing. And then I look, and then it's added like 69 point something gems instead of the 70 gems. So the reason it errored was because, again, there was not enough gems in there. So I don't know how that worked, but it screwed me by 1 gem.
I saw a few posts about that yesterday. I saw like 3 or 4 people who were they tried to load up after reserving and it lagged like that. And then I saw a post from somebody in I think it was Italy. Somebody I don't know, but they're in Italy, and they said, you know, what's this thing where we've got to pay €85 to get, you know, 75 gems?
Yeah.
And it used to be like that for me here in Switzerland, and I don't know what it changed, but like back in the day, like a year and a half ago, I used to have to, you know, if I wanted 70 gems, I'd have to put in, you know, 75, 80 francs, Swiss francs. But now, I don't know what's changed, but now if I put in $50, it gives me $50, you know, so 50 gems.
Yeah. Mine used to be the same in England. Like, it used to give you a different amount to what you put in because obviously the conversion rate.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah, but that's something that never made sense to me because the pound is worth more than the dollar. So
it's leveled up recently since the Queen died.
I do end up getting more gems per pound. Like if I buy 50 gems worth, it's probably taking like £45 out of my account. So it does.
All right, so it's working the right way.
Yeah, it seems to on the app. On the web platform, it works okay. On the app.
Yeah, see, I use this time round. I use my phone because obviously you don't go for the drops on the web app, do you? So
right. Yeah,
but once I see the prices, obviously I just went and bought an uncommon. So.
Well, I mean, it's worth doing. I mean, at the end of the day, right? This is what I figure. I know that the green one is rarer, but it's really only the paint job that's rarer and the VV plate. But you know, I think that the VV plate only really matters to us VV fanatics. The Lambo guys are going to want that STO plate. I don't think they're going to care about the VV plate. So at the end of the day, we're all got the same car.
So you kept both of yours, right?
Well, no, I had some gems left over, so I sold one of my uncommons and bought a rare. Because I had that silver yellow one.
Right. And what about you, Anna? Have you got any interest in buying one, or?
Not in a massive rush. I ended up buying when I didn't get the drop. I had the opposite problem in gems first, so I wanted to load up some gems, and I did, and then it said payment failed, so I did it again, and I ended up with double the gems because it didn't actually fail first time. So that was a bit annoying, but. Yeah, then I went out and got a couple more golden moments instead. So I'll stick to my plan, and maybe I will get one later. Probably prefer the look of the white one as opposed to the others.
Yeah, because the white one's the actual uncommon, isn't it? Yeah.
Right, yeah.
It's the cheapest one at the minute.
Yeah, I like the white one and green one, so the secret rare as well. But yeah, I might pick
secret rares.
Oh, look, I
think the secret rare. Oh yeah, I think the secret rare was $1,000 last time I looked, and the uncommon's sitting at about 110. So
1069, 1069 and 115. Yeah, so it seems to have steadied a bit. So it's probably up for this quite a bit of it.
I mean, don't get me wrong, the SR does look absolutely gorgeous, but not enough for me to pay 10 times more for the same car.
Well, what do you think about the no sound?
I'm gutted about that, man. Like, I think. What are you kidding me? What's that about? No,
and even the VV advert had the little sound at the beginning.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
So obviously, I expected it to have the sound.
Yeah.
Tito has put the price of the Lambo was so low, I had to add gems to my account. I agree with that. I thought it was going to end up like $120 20 gem drop or something like that. So 70 did make it, more affordable. And he ended up,
I agree.
With an uncommon mint 1420 for 150 gems. Congratulations.
Not bad. That's the thing, man. Like,
I'm
not worried. Sorry, go on, Bob.
I might try and find one specific mint for the Lambo. For my song earlier.
Don't tell them what it is.
I'm not gonna tell anyone. But if you see the clip in the song earlier, like on my Twitter feed, you'll know what the mint is. But I cut that little bit out at the beginning. But do a bit of research, you'll find it. But I've got to try and find one of them ones. And I don't normally do that, but this time for that, I think I'm gonna try.
Yeah, speaking of the mid numbers, that's what I was telling you guys about before. Is something I was talking about, well, almost arguing about with somebody on the Facebook group. Like I'm a palindrome hunter, and there was somebody on the Facebook group that was trying to hawk their secret rare comic that had a mid number 06660, and everyone was like drilling them, going, "That's not a palindrome. That's not a palindrome." And I was like, "What are you guys daft? Of course it's a palindrome. Like there's a set number of digits in the serial number." And any number that's missing is replaced by 0. So that's, it reads forwards and backwards. But then they showed photos of it in the screen where you go to list it in the market. So when you go to list it in the market and you're choosing what price you want to sell it at, that 0 disappears. So it's just 6660, and it's not a palindrome anymore. So, and like as a palindrome hunter, that's a bit of that's a huge discrepancy for me, and it's something I think that needs to be brought up, because I've paid huge premiums for palindromes that start with a 0. So I need to know that, when we can finally display our mid numbers on our collectibles, that 0 is going to be there. Otherwise, I've paid like 3 times higher than the floor for nothing.
That's true.
That's true.
That's a problem.
But hopefully those people searching for it just think about that as they're buying anyway. But
yeah, but I mean, come on. I mean, this is we know that people pay premiums for certain kind of mid numbers. So if that's the case, then the mid number needs to be displayed the same way wherever it's displayed. It has to be the same all the time.
Oh, look, someone got me in the chat. Someone got me in the chat, look, 1971. That was one of them. That was one of them.
Oh, he actually bought
It's not the one, though. It's not. It's a couple of years off that. But it's close. And hello, the biggest bro. VEVE Vault, you're right, everyone. We will try and keep up with the chat at some point, but we're trying to keep it as natural as we can. So.
Do you know?
Yeah, with this interesting point.
Yeah, go on, carry on. What was that?
I was just saying, I think that was an interesting point. It's a big deal for somebody like me, especially because, like, my main collection on VEVE is one that I've been building over the last 2 years. I'm still not even complete with it, and it's palindrome mints, right? Now, if all of the palindromes that I've got in there that start with a 0 are no longer a palindrome wants to get displayed on my collectible, that takes away all of the value proposition of that collection. That's a really big problem for me. So
have they actually changed this, or you noticed that it's been like this from the start? So did it?
I never even noticed it was like that until about 2 hours ago when I was talking to these guys on the Facebook group, and they showed me the difference between one screen and another, and the difference is the way the mid number shows up.
Yeah, that's a tough one, because then you're kind of penalising the lower palindrome mints, because the higher ones, like, I don't know, 6996 is still going to show anything not starting with a 0, basically.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just, one of those things I noticed. Well, somebody else noticed and brought it to my attention. And
lost me
it's an issue.
So, speaking about mints, what do you both think to buying 41 mints? Knowing that there's more than... Knowing the other ones are out there, what's your thoughts? Is it worth it or not?
Well, it's going to be less of a premium now, but, I mean, it's still a very, very low mint number regardless, and it's the general consensus is it's going to be one of the lowest ones, so I think it's worth it personally. So eventually, when we've got loads of people on the app, hopefully, touch wood, there's going to be people sorting from low to high, and it's going to be on that lower end. So I still think it's a premium. Just the premium's been diluted a little bit because we know a lot more is coming. Not a lot more, a few more is coming out below that. Just that uncertainty is a bit frustrating because I bought a few low mints as well.
See, I've landed quite a few on drop,
Have you?
but some of them I've actually recently tried to sell, and I could not sell them for double the floor price. And they're like mint 57s and mint 53s. I've got all sorts of random mints like that.
Well, I think it also depends on how many editions exist of that particular collectible or comic. Because I mean, if there's 1,000 of it, then the two digits don't make up such a huge percentage of the total editions.
It also helps with the actual thing itself. If it's a good thing, then it's better.
Yeah.
Item wise.
But my take is this: I'm when I say I'm a collector, I mean I want complete sets. right? I'm not interested. In my mind, the low mint number, I don't see why it applies to collectibles. I see why it's a thing for comics, because it always was. With the physical comic market and everything, the closest to the first run is always going to be the most valuable. But with the collectibles, in my mind, well, the way I see it anyway, is that you want to get like the mint numbers that are the rarest, not necessarily the lowest. Like, for example, that's why I collect palindromes, right? Because if you can build a collection, say there's a Marble Mighties, you've got all the Marble Mighties with palindromes. If you do the maths, only just a little bit less than 1% of any of them can be a palindrome mint, right? So if there's like 5,000 of a Marble Mighty, well, let's go with Ritmo, for example. There's 1,500 Ritmos. So there's only 14.
Unicorn.
Oh, mate, the Tokidoki stuff, that's my thing, man. I'm like, hello, K. I'm like well into it. But so because there's only 1,500, right? That means that there's like 99 sub 100 mints, but there's only 14 palindromes. So it makes it much rarer. So if you've got the whole Unicorno set, then that's a set of 9. That's a 1 in 14. 1 in 14, you know?
I'd imagine there's less people.
Oh, dude, your camera's chucking a spaz there.
Ash, yeah, you're stuck. Unless you're like stood, you're frozen, smiling. Then no.
I lost my screen.
Yeah, Duck and Cover. I just think there's probably more people looking for logos than palindrome, though. So even though it's got like 1/10 of the, you know.
Yeah, but I'm looking ahead to when we can sell as sets, you know.
Yeah.
So, well, like on its own, one single collectible, yeah, that's fine. But like, for example, I've got, like all the Unicornos and all the Mermacornos and all the Dragon Girls. That's like, 35 collectibles over 5 different sets that only 14 people could ever own a collection like that. It can't be anymore, and it's really, really difficult to find them.
I'm not.
So I think this is just the way I look at it.
No,
right.
Yeah, that's good.
Sorry, I think we lost you all halfway through that. I do apologise. I have no idea what happened there. It just went doolally on me.
I think we probably just lost you based on what me and Duck and Cover saw. But all
and I can hear a slight clicking in my ear and all.
No, that's this.
I see him playing with a pen. Yeah.
Oh, you fanny, you Wally! I'm sitting there thinking, what's this clicking? Sorry. Carry on. So yeah, sorry everyone in the chat. We did lose the whole thing there. Hopefully that don't happen again.
On the set Stuff and Cover, when you can sell things as a whole set, I think if you've got matching mint sets, that'll be a big one, because it's just visually there for everyone to see that you've got all the 1,500s of whatever set.
Yeah, but I mean, like, I still see it as the same way, because I mean, it's not really a one of one. It's 1 of 1 for that number. But if there's 1,500 editions of the rarest one, then 1,500 people can have a set that's still matching mints. But whereas no matter what it is with the palindromes, less than 1% of people who own that collectible can have the full set with a palindrome. That's just the way I'm looking at it. Just the rarity level of that. But I see why it's a big deal for comics, the low mints. But like as someone who only collects the 3D models, I don't really care about how low the number is. I want to find special numbers.
I didn't even know
what
I collect. Well, VEVE, to be honest, but yeah.
Say again?
I didn't even know what palindrome numbers were before VEVE, to be honest. And I work with numbers every day. But.
To be fair, Duck and Cover was the one that explained it to me, I think, because I told him, yeah, I've got this nice one for you, and he's like, yeah, it's not actually. Do you remember? I think it was. I think it was the X-Men comic 118 or something like that, wasn't it?
And there was just like one number. Yeah, there was like one number out of place that kept it from being a proper palindrome.
Yeah. And you was like,
didn't mean to rain on your parade, man.
yeah. Well, there you go. I mean, I like the mint anyway of that one, but I mean, like me, I collect mainly comics. So, like for me, the mint number. Displaying the mint number is not that important. I'd rather just be able to display the comics. Like,
yeah.
We've waited a long time for that.
Yeah, there's a bunch of comics I'll buy just to display them, and it's the ones that nobody else is going for, man. I want the Tarzan ones. I want,
I like the Tarzan ones.
Oh, they look awesome. See, I won't buy them as comics because I don't care about comics, but I'll buy them as things to hang on my wall. Some of the covers on some of those comics are absolutely stunning.
See, I'm pretty much the same as that. I buy based on the covers more than anything else.
Mm-hmm. There's NYX
if
covers. Amazing.
Yeah, if I like the covers, I'll buy the comics.
For sure.
Mainly.
That's what you were doing in the.
That's how I ended up with. Go on, sorry, Anna.
That's what you were doing in the comic shop. You were looking.
Yeah, I've got stacks of comics down there. It's like they're still sat in the same spot where I bought them. So I've literally done nothing with them. They're literally sat down there. It's terrible. I've not even took the prices off. But I might chuck them up here on this wall somewhere.
Oh yeah.
So I might try to put like a wooden shelf there.
I used to have a stack of comics on VEVE. I had like 70 comics or something like that. And then I started watching a bunch of videos from physical collectors, and I sort of convinced myself in my own head that I wasn't sure that physical collectors would ever really see these as proper first edition, copies of anything. So I thought, I don't really care too much about the comics, so I sold them all off. And now it seems like that's all anybody talks about. That's what everybody wants on the app, is the comics. They want all the, and I know a lot of people have been learning a lot about them too and starting to care a lot more than they used to. So I'm wondering if I didn't make a big mistake by getting rid of all my comics, to be honest.
I think they're just a lot easier to talk about because you can compare versus the real world, and
Yeah,
it's got a story behind it, so it's just so much easier to talk about. Whereas, take anything else, a golden moment, Elsa. What much more can you say about that?
Yeah, it is what it is. It's an Elsa statue.
Yeah. Is there a physical one? Probably for £10 in the Disney shop, but
I wouldn't sleep on it.
Will you leave that pen alone? I can hear it in my ear. Sorry.
Yeah, they just announced Frozen 3, so
yeah, they have.
Might be a good time to pick up an Elsa if you can afford it.
I've got 7 of them now.
Have you?
That's one of my favorite. That's probably my favorite thing on the app. 6 or 7, I can't remember. But yeah,
that's crazy.
Super detailed.
I do want to get a bunch of.
And did the price?
I was just going to say.
Did the buy-in price?
Market now,
sorry.
The mid numbers are just so high.
Yeah, that's true. They are. I just think when there's. Go for it, Ash.
No, go on, carry on.
No, you're going to ask
to interrupt you.
No, you're going to ask what I bought them for, right?
I weren't going to ask you what you bought them for, but I was going to ask, did they keep getting lower each time?
No, the first
which
one
is
was
why you kept buying them.
The first one was 190 because it was right after the drop. I bought one, and yeah, at the moment, I know it's probably 250, something like that, 230 maybe.
That's still really cheap. Well, she got up into the like $6,000 or something like that at some point. Right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I bought one. I bought a couple of expensive ones as well, like 400, 500. But overall, my average is about 250, so it's not too bad.
Well, I still think it's a good time to be buying them up. I mean, they're not the kind of things you're going to make quick profits off right now. If you're going to be buying them now, you're going to be waiting a couple of years before you see any real returns from them.
Yeah, I've got no plans on selling, just averaging down while we're down. So the worst. Hello, Thomas Peacock Gaming.
Hello, Thomas, mate. You're all right. That's actually my nephew.
Oh, is it?
Hey, look out, Thomas.
Yeah, that's actually one of my nephews. He's a lovely lad.
So, I bought a Golden Moment Donald Duck for like 1,400 gems or something horrible. But now I've got 13 of them, so my average is, way down at, I don't know, something like 180. So, no, actually less than that. So I've got 13 of them, 1,400. I've probably got 12 at about 150. Yeah, so anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, so I'm generally averaging down and not in a rush to get out.
Yeah, well, I don't think this is the time to be stacking, man. Like, we want to Yeah. I don't sell anything that I don't have multiples of. I don't sell anything that I've only got one of.
I've tried like the Thor. Actually, I've got 3 of those Thor Secret Rare comics, and it pumped up to 1,800 2 days ago. So I tried to like sell at 1,750, but then somebody else ended up just putting it down at 1,699, and I just thought, all right, I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah.
Yes. Same thing with a few others, because the floors are thin, so then a couple get sold, you all of a sudden think, wow, I can get in there and sell, but then it's just waiting for someone to undercut you again. So
as soon as it gets to a certain point on the floors, that's it. That's when everyone starts listing them again.
yeah.
Everyone's waiting for that point. As soon as they see it's gone higher than they, than it was, they're like, yep, we'll get that, and then the floor goes straight back down.
Yeah, it's a trap. Everyone's going, yeah, there's only 13 left on the market. It's like, well, yeah, because everybody paid $60 for it, now sold for $750. Wait till the price goes up to see how fast they list.
It's the same as the secret rares at the minute. I think some of them are on like 8, under 8 on the floor now.
Under 8?
And I think I've got like 1 or 2 on there. That's 40 gems. What I'm selling for 40 gems right now, which I never thought I'd be doing. But I'm trying to get more Lambos myself. So you got to do what you got to do.
Well, I've been. I think you saw the picture of the screenshot I posted on Twitter yesterday of my little garage there. And I'm so desperate for Lambos that I'm thinking about even selling a couple of my Ecto ones, or I don't know, but I don't want it.
Yeah, the garage actually looked pretty cool. I wasn't sure whether it was yours or whether it was just one you made or what.
Yeah, no, that's all my stars, my vehicles. I'm preparing for the VEVE. There's 2 things I'm preparing for, man, and that's when Asia sort of gets heavily involved in the market. So I've just started buying pillies. I've got a bunch of Ultramares and all that sort of stuff. And VEVEverse, man. That's why I'm buying those cars. I'm looking for cars and art, but mostly vehicles, man.
So you're getting the vehicles because you want to actually use them, or you think the price will pump when the VEVEverse? You want? Oh, okay.
So that's I'm the other way around. I started buying vehicles to then sell the first 2 weeks of VEVEverse.
Yeah.
I think that's a good play. I think more people will want them at that point once you can actually use them, and then the novelty will wear off, so they'll probably end up dropping back down again.
That's exactly what. As well. That's exactly why I've done the 2 week time frame, because just in case everyone gets bored in 2 weeks, it is just going to be the homeroom at first. If everyone gets bored, prices will drop back down. But that first initial reaction, first 2 weeks, I think everything's just going to start going crazy. Even the comics, because if you could put the comics on your walls finally, that's going to increase all them comics that are even low value in the real world. It could actually increase them just because of the cover art. So,
well, I mean, like guys like me, and I know that I will do it when the VEVEverse kicks off. I'm going to be buying all those cheap comics just to display it on my walls. Like even people who don't care about comics are going to be spending money on it.
Yeah. I think the hope is MCP is probably going to bring floors up on some of the comics from $2.
Yeah, I think you're right about that.
$2.50 or $2.70, something like that. I think once the VEVEverse opens up, there's going to be particular things that'll go up more than others. For example, there's nothing that looks much better than the T-Rex when it's animated, in my opinion. So things like that, the cars, like you said, Duck and Cover as well, but certain things will definitely benefit more than others.
You got to be careful which ones you buy though, because I got burned on bought a couple of those UR Aston Martins, thinking along the same line. But the more I thought about it, the more I thought, look, there's probably a pretty small chance that they're going to be drivable. I mean, you look at all the interactive ones, the Ecto ones and all that, you can already turn the steering wheel and see the wheels turn, you can open the doors and all that. But the UR Aston Martin's totally static, so I figured, well, look, I don't think they're going to spend the resources and time to... I could be wrong about that, but I just figured it was a better play to buy the ones that were already interactive. So I got burned on those ones the same way you did, man. Like I spent like $600-700 on my Aston Martins, and I couldn't get more than like $100 for them when I sold them.
Have any of you got the hovering DeLorean?
Yeah, that's going
to be. I had one, but I sold it. But I'm going to go back for more. I've been buying more kits. I've got 3 kits at the minute.
Yeah, I got 3 of them, and they're so cheap. What are they, like $30 or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're pretty unique, the kits. So, and obviously it is fully drivable and everything else. It's got all the graphics. The sound's still there though, which is annoying. Like it's
I wish you could
constant.
turn
You
it
can't
off.
turn it on and off.
I wish you could turn it off.
Yeah, because it's really loud as well. It's quite overpowered. If it was like quieter, or you could just hit the button and turn it off, it'd be much nicer to play with. Because when you're trying to drive it in AI, you can hear, it sounds like the TARDIS going.
There's still no engine sound. Why?
Yeah, and then the Lambo with a no engine, that was just, that killed me. That broke my soul when I see that.
Yeah.
I think if we're lucky, we'll get it added in.
Well, I hope so. Because I mean, that's like that video I shared and I tagged you in. You get to that point where he turns on the engine. He's like, a car as sexy as this deserves to be vocal and boisterous. They start revving the car and it's just gorgeous, man.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, but
we'll have to get Anad one. We'll have to persuade him to buy one.
Oh, you got to get one, man.
I will eventually. Well, you need someone to rent it to, don't you? So if I don't have one, I'll be the one.
Needs an engine first.
See, that's what
Needs
I'm
an
thinking
engine
about
first.
I'm not just looking at these as cool collectibles. I'm looking at these as potential passive income.
Hopefully, I just feel that's so long away.
Not before the end of the year, if we're lucky.
I think way past that. Even when the VEVE opens, I just can't. Yeah, we'd need mass adoption before anybody actually wants to rent stuff.
Yeah. No, you're not wrong about that, I suppose.
But
that's too
forward to those. So one day.
I was about to say the renting's too far for me. You lot can do your renting. I'm just that's where it goes a bit far for me. The land I can kind of see, but it also goes a bit far. But the renting, I don't see that happening at any time. I don't know why you'd want to rent a collectible. I just don't understand.
Well, I mean, have you guys seen the trailers for the Helix metaverse?
No.
No, you got to check out the videos of that, man, because that's like, when they talk about VEVE City, that'll give you a good idea of what we might be able to expect, and it's like an actual big city, right? And they say in there the main way of getting around that city is going to be vehicles, but they've also they even show clips of they've got a train system and all this public transport system and stuff like that.
I don't see the point in transport in a virtual world, though. To be honest, I just don't. When I think of renting, I'm thinking of. I think I've said before on another stream that they spoke about. So if let's say you've got the Ant-Man's Marvel Mighty set and you have an Ant-Man world and you need to have the Ant-Man set to enter that world, that's the point where I think people would probably rent so that they can get in.
Work.
Yeah, do whatever they want. So they've actually mentioned something along those lines before ages ago.
They did say that was going to be one of the first main features that rolls out. Actually, is the branded worlds. Tokidoki World, Marvel Mighty World, all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, but yes. They've never actually confirmed that Disney or Marvel's said that they're going to be in the VEVE-verse yet. I think they were still ironing that out, but I'd expect them to be. But if they haven't confirmed they're going to be in the VEVE-verse, then how much thought could they have really put into the Marvel Mighty's world or whatever? So it must be quite far out. Unless they integrate it with whatever Disney's planning in, is it October this year? Something they're going to come out with something.
It's supposed to, but let's not go off timelines, eh?
Yeah, and I mean it's all speculation anyway because they're all they've been very very tight-lipped about any real detail concerning what the VEVE-verse is going to be. They're very broad.
See, one of the things, with what you just said, right, that actually kind of makes sense in a way. Because
the renting aspect.
When you put it that way across, it makes sense because it's kind of like buying a ticket for a day to go into a theme park.
Yeah.
If it's like for another world. If it's for another world aspect, if that makes sense. So that kind of makes sense.
Yeah. It just... Who knows what's actually going to be in that world. Like games or... No idea.
Well, everyone's definitely starting to do their own thing. It just depends whether they're all going to merge eventually.
Well, I mean, given that Cavernous, I don't know a hell of a lot about it, but I've watched a few things, and it looks like they're all sort of like at least interoperable between each other if they're on the Cavernous Metaverse network, if you like.
Yeah, I'd imagine there's not going to be one for everything. Kind of like your mobile phone network, you've got certain infrastructures. People borrow that infrastructure, like I don't know, Vodafone and Orange and T-Mobile or something like that. They're now merged, or they'd use the same network. 3 and O2, maybe they're going to have different networks that they all share, but they're still going to be major competitors like Disney on one side, Facebook on another, and Google on another until they decide to merge again themselves. That's complete guesswork, but so in short, some will be interoperable, but there'll be groups of ones that are interoperable, maybe.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's what I see as well. I see it as like a closed ecosystem, but a closed ecosystem of several different metaverses.
Yeah.
Between which your NFTs will be interoperable, but not outside that bubble.
Like that.
So, what do you guys think about this upcoming interview of David Yu and Binance here?
I haven't seen any. All I saw was Randy's post on it. I don't know anything about it, but it sounds very positive, and I think Omi's pumped in the past 48 hours quite a bit, and see what that's about. I don't know whether they've released anything about what he's talking about, or is there any more detail on it?
I was about to say, I see Omi pumped, but apart from that, I have no clue what you're talking about. So you're going to have to catch me up for a change.
Well, I was just saying, it was the same thing. I saw the same post from Randy as well, like that he's doing an interview with Binance. The only reason I bring it up is because after that Queen VEVE thing, if I got to say, like, I'm a bit nervous about putting David Yu in front of a microphone, mate.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Alex was worried the whole time.
Yeah, I bet he was shitting his pants.
Yeah, I think he was, to be fair. We got that impression when he come on halfway through. He's just like, yeah, he done a couple of things wrong, and I was like, oh no.
Yeah.
Always puts his foot in it.
Yeah, he's not the guy. He's not the guy. You want Alex or Reese in front of that mic, mate. Keep David away from it. But you know,
they've made their own mistakes and all.
Alex definitely does. I think Reese.
Yeah, I can't remember.
Reese and Dan are the tight-lipped ones, I think.
Yeah. You don't hear much from Dan, really. Even at the events, you don't really hear from him. The first time we've really heard a lot from Dan was the VEVEverse demo. That was the most I've heard that guy speak.
He used to do more on the AMAs, I think. Yeah, maybe.
I used to see him a fair bit more back in the day.
Yeah, but you'd kind of want them to be busy so that they can't always make an appearance. And going on the Binance...
I've got a funny feeling he's the... Go on, carry on.
No, I was going to say on the Binance thing, looking at the screenshot, it was... So David's going to be talking about the NFTs, not Omi stuff, which sounds good. I don't know anything about if Binance sell NFTs or anything like that.
Yeah, they've got their own marketplace they released what was it, like about a year and a half ago, something like that. Yeah, I remember seeing that come out.
1 second. Sorry.
So that sounds positive. Then we've got Coinbase's NFT platform one day we could be on there, and yeah, there's a lot of catalysts that can come anyway.
I do have
to start see Omi pump though.
I haven't looked at Omi, man. I've just been buying collectibles on VEVE. Do need to get some more.
I see it pumped a little bit, but the thing is with Omi, it always goes back down every time.
Yeah, which is fine for me because it's always been a long-term play, you know.
Well, it's like, do any of you hold like a lot of Omi, or are you not?
No, I've got less than 500,000.
Well, that's a lot. It's kind of a lot when you look at it in Omi terms. There's 500,000.
Well, if it's all relative, really. If it hits $1, yeah, it's a lot. You know, if it hits a cent, it's really not that much.
Well, it's true.
And plus,
I think I'm on about 4,000.
4,000? Yeah, but I mean, also it depends on when you bought it. My first big bags I bought when it was like at a high, it was like, you know, You know,
I never
0.07 or whatever. It
never brought Omi yet. I
Yours
keep
is
getting
from-
gifted it by my collectibles. Yeah. Yeah, from my drop heads. But yeah, I always see when I first got into VEVE, like I never knew about Omi, none of that. Like I was shown the VEVE app, and like I went based off VEVE as the app itself. It was only like 4 months in when I actually looked on the YouTube channels and stuff like that. I actually found like Omi and stuff like that.
I had
how'd you get into it?
I had Omi first, and then VEVE. I got into Omi via. I used to be on a platform called Earth2, which I think you might have heard Randy talking about.
I've been actually looking at getting onto that recently. I've got it pulled up on my tabs here, just have a look.
Yeah, I wouldn't buy any land just yet at this point, to be honest. I think it's really peaked, and it's just so expensive. You get one tile for $1 or something, and you really need hundreds of them to get anywhere. And the other thing is, if you got in earlier, they generated this thing called Essence, which is going to be used to purchase things or whatever in their ecosim or metaverse. And the tiles have generated a lot of Essence already, so you kind of probably missed the period where you're going to get a lot of Essence generation, which is going to be the crypto probably in a few months. But yeah, it's definitely, have a look. I think I'm slightly out of touch. There might be cheaper tiles you can get, like lower tier ones, but it's an interesting project. Out of everything I've bought into, that's done best for return on investment.
Okay, how'd you move from that to VEVE?
Earth2 has a community, and when I was in it, I was well into that community, and people were just talking about it. Then I started looking at it and thought, okay, I might as well buy some Omi and just leave it there. And then once I started buying it, because it was such a low value, it's kind of addictive to just get more and more. Because just saying you've got millions of something just sounds good, even if it's worthless. And then sold the team and everything, all looked good. Joined the community, and then saw it was a very active community, and then just moved into the collectibles late, unfortunately. So I was buying Omi in, I don't know, early 2021, but I wasn't buying any collectibles.
Yeah.
I joined VEVE May 27th or something, but only started buying stuff in July, August. So I'd missed the time. I was in the ecosystem, but missed the stuff like, Silicon Secure and people buying hundreds of TODs or whatever they've done. I could have, but I just totally missed it. It's so annoying.
How you doing, Dr. Strange?
I was just about to say hello to everyone in the chat. I can see them all typing away there. So obviously you've got my cousin Thomas in there. Hello, Thomas, your mate. And then you've got Dakota Strange. Thank you very much, my friend. And you've got Gus from NFT Landropy, which I don't know whether you've ever seen my charity auctions, what I always retweet.
I've seen you posted about it,
he's actually part of that team there. He's actually a decent guy. He's actually got his own YouTube channel as well, but it's more bikes and cars and stuff like that.
Okay, all right.
So I can imagine the Lamborghini was right up his street.
I was in a similar boat to you, Anand, but not voluntarily. I got into Omi. I had a mate in Australia who made a stack of money on Bitcoin because he bought it back when it was like $100 a pop. And he bought like 10 of them for $100. And just at the end of 2020, he was telling me how much money he'd made. And I was like, holy shit, I got to get into this crypto game. And I was sort of having a look around because I didn't know where to start. I had never heard the word blockchain before. I had no idea what any of that stuff was. So I started doing some research, and I looked at Coin Bureau, and I was buying a couple of things, some Litecoin and some Harmony One and stuff because he was saying they were good. But then I tumbled onto that video from BitBoy where he started talking about Ecomi. And as a collector, for me, I was like, man, that's just a no-brainer. I'm in on this, all in on this. So I bought some Omi and all that, and I downloaded the app. And I took part in my first drop, which was the 2D Ultraman prints. And then my phone just decided to shit itself and didn't want to support Omi anymore. But VEVE, sorry. And I couldn't afford another phone until September. So I was just watching everybody stack up all this stuff, and I couldn't do anything. That was horrible.
One of the first things I bought was the first secret rare I bought was the Ultraman with the box at the front.
I wanted that for ages. I finally got one. That was the first set I wanted to complete. I've got it now, and I'm never selling it.
Nice. I remember back then, secret rares were really, really rare. So when I did get that secret rare Ultraman, I just thought, yes, I've got one secret rare. But now they're just flashing around all over the place.
Oh, now they're cheap. They're like $80 a pop.
Yes.
But I don't mind. I just love it. I love all that Ultraman stuff. I've never even heard of it. But that's the beautiful thing about VEVE, man. I mean, it has created new fans of all kinds of stuff. I never heard of Ultraman before VEVE. And now I'm a huge fan of it. Pilly, man. I've been watching loads of Pilly fantasy lately. That's just so cool, man. I don't know if you've seen any of it.
Where do you watch it?
Oh, you can check it out on YouTube, man. There's loads of it.
Right, nice.
Oh man, it's like manga but done with puppets, you know. Oh man, it's just gorgeous. It's so cool, man. I want to be stocking up on that.
David, you really?
I know.
I think it's massive in. Is it Singapore? It's massive in.
Well, I watched a video about a year ago from Danceport at Panda where he was just like, "Man, you guys have got no idea about this Pilly stuff over in Asia. It's like a religion. Like seriously, like this stuff, people will crawl over their dead grandmothers to get their hands on it. You need to buy it." And so that's why I started checking it out, because I like Danceport at Panda, and I trust what he says about the Asian markets, God knows his stuff. So
yeah. Were you going to say something, Ash?
Yeah, sorry, I was just typing in the chat there. That was all. I was just looking at the chat because I just see Moonage is in there. I did say I would send him a link, but obviously he's at work, which is why I didn't originally ask him, because obviously I knew it'd be the wrong time for him.
This was just all last minute, but it seems to be all running good.
Yeah, it seems to be running through. Is there anyone else in the chat what we've missed? Should we have a quick
Doctor
look?
Strange has put duck and cover exclamation marks, a few of them.
Hey.
Do you know each other?
Oh, we see each other around the place on the streams. You know me, I'm always lurking. I see him around too. You know, it's kind of how that's another great thing about this VEVE stuff, man. Like, I mean, the only reason I got to know Bob is from lurking in the chats. And I saw him saying something about only fools and horses. I was like, yeah, that's my guy.
Yeah, old-fashioned style. And pretty blunt most of the time, like most of us. I think all three of us are like that, to be fair. I think we're all like straight talkers. Like, if we don't like something, we'll tell you. If we like something, we'll tell you. If that makes sense.
We're a good fit. I enjoy doing the podcast with Dee the other day and everything. But just that whole setup, it's a bit hard for me to be myself if I have to censor myself and behave a certain way and all that sort of stuff. So being together with guys like you is just better suited. You know, I mean, the Uncommon podcast is awesome, but I think this is just a better fit for me. The situation.
Yeah,
it's a good.
Definitely agree. I was about to say, definitely. Go on, carry on, Anand. Sorry.
I was just going to say it's a good watch. It's nice and laid back and relaxed. I met I think it was D on the My Collectibles chat. And other guys, Moonage, yourself, both of you, and everyone's so nice, and you know.
Yeah.
I was about to say the same thing about D. Funny enough, I didn't even know it was Inanu's wife for like 2-3 weeks.
Yeah, right.
I just see her added me, and then I started talking to her, and then I found out it was his wife. So yeah. But yeah, shout out to all the mates and everyone else, the Uncommon podcast, Moonage in the chat, and everyone else.
And who else?
I know a lot of you are on completely different time frames, which is why this has been a bit off the cusp for us over here.
Yeah.
Gus Hall says he keeps dollar cost averaging into OMI. Sounds good. I'm sure it'll do well in the next bull run, along with a lot of other stuff, hopefully with our collectibles as well.
I think so.
It will, yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
it started going back the right way. It started going the right way, then Lambo's come and it just went back the wrong way again.
I think we started dropping a bit just before Lambo, after the last set of delays, but it's just it's upside definitely this year. I think some of it at least. It felt like we bottomed at the beginning of December, then we were on mid-December, then we started climbing up, and then we've started dipping a bit back to the levels of those levels, and then I think we'll probably start climbing up very soon because MCP's in beta testing, CryptoPane's in. I'm one of the testers for that
Oh,
actually.
you're testing CryptoPane?
Oh, you kept that quiet.
I mean, I'm not going to test it though, so I'm not really a tester. I've been given access to do it. I might.
Yeah.
So you're like the first VEVE user that got told you've been invited to testing and hasn't put it on Twitter to say I've been invited to testing, even though they told me not to tell anyone.
Oh, did they say not to tell anyone?
No, because normally when they do testing, normally in the email it says, "Oh, please don't share this. Share any of the stuff that's going on." Next minute, the first thing they do is you see a Twitter post saying, "Oh yeah, I've been invited to testing," even though it says, "Please keep this private."
Dr. Strange, I'm personally not going for that drop just because there's nothing wrong with that. I like those mighties. I'd love to eventually get started on that collection, but they've already released so many of them. I've got so much catching up to do, and I just got bigger priorities personally. What about you guys? Are you going for the Ant-Man drop?
I was going to say to you, see, it's funny because if Moonage was here, Moonage collected all the Mighty Marvels. Marvel Mighties even, sorry.
Yeah.
So he would have loved this drop. And I know you've got a few in your Anad.
I've got all of them so far, and I've got multiple.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a nice collection right there.
I have to get it at some point, whether it's on the drop. I'm pretty sure that the higher mint numbers will end up being $3 or $2, between $2 and $4. So I might just get it in the secondary market and not do that gamble on the.
What's the cost this time round? Because I ain't even looked at it yet.
It's like $13.
I've seen it. $13 again.
But, yeah, maybe they won't go to $2. I didn't realize they were that much. I thought they were like $7. 7 gems.
Yeah, I thought they'd gone up a little.
I still think they'll drop to $4 or $5.
Yeah. I'm going to get mine on the secondary anyway.
Yeah. I said, sorry, go on.
Well, one of the things I was going to say is Mighties in general, like, that's never been for me. Like, I know obviously Anad collects them. Why do you collect them? What's your reasoning?
I don't like the look of them, first of all, really. So it took me a while to make myself to get them. And then I started getting some because there's big FAs in there and they were cheap. And then I saw, like the VEVE stands at some of these conventions, the poster boy or the poster faces of these conventions for Marvels appears to be these mighties. So I just thought, okay, they're clearly going to push these out at some point. They want to make these like the Funkos of the Marvel world. So let's start buying them. And then there's speculation about if you get sets, it could, unlock these worlds and things a few months ago. So I just kept going from then, really. So mixture of things. Yeah, not the look. In summary, the potential when they're marketing fully, they're going to market the mighties from what we've seen so far, and there've got to be something more to them than that. I hope so anyway, but if not, yeah.
So like I said, I want those mighties, but the reason I'm interested in them is got nothing to do with the value proposition. But like I said, man, I'm a collector, and just the fact that there's so many of them,
yeah,
it just makes me want to have them all. Like if there was only that's why I'm buying up these pillies now. I mean, I've been sort of ignoring them because there's only 4, but I know the pilly has got like hundreds of characters, so I can see it being like the mighty. So I know there's going to be lots of them. So it's like I've got to jump on these 4 before there's 30 of them that I need to catch up on. But,
I think you're the only.
Sorry, go on.
I think you're the only one I really heard mention the filly.
Oh, pilly man! Oh, yeah,
the characters, yeah.
I love that.
I think you're the only one that's
beautiful. Yeah.
I think you're the only one I've really heard mention them.
Yeah, I don't know many that. Don't know many that like Tokidoki so much as well.
Yeah, well, that's another thing. Well, I mean, I kind of like that sort of kawaii style stuff. My girl is into manga, but a lot of the Sailor Moon kind of stuff, your cute Japanesey sort of kawaii style stuff. And so I'm interested in that, and I like the Tokidoki. The Dragon Girls are amazing. And what got me into the unicornos and that in the beginning, like I said, was mostly just because there's so many of them.
Yeah,
You know, and they're giving me some
Yeah.
more. I was like, man, I've got to complete all that set, and now that I've done it all with special mints, it's my main collection, man. Like that's my baby, my Toki Doki collection.
season 1
I
as
got-
well, a bit, which is good.
Yeah.
I got burned on season 2, I think, and then after that I never went for any more. But then
yeah,
they
the
used to
ultra
just there used to just be the common joke that it was the transfer.
Yeah, it was like the currency of the app. Yeah.
Yeah. Which used to affect the prices now and again and all. You'd know
Well,
when
it's another-
transfers were going off.
It's another one of those ones I got burned on. Like I paid $400 for the ultra rare Mermacorno, and now it sells for $50.
Yeah.
Everyone's
40
got
bucks.
something like that. But, I mean, everyone's got something like that. Don't worry. If you
Oh,
were
we
here,
all got burned pretty hard. Yeah.
if you were here in January last year, you've got something. That's
But
exciting.
I was pretty lucky with some stuff as well. Like I hit the killer crop on drop. I sold it for $780.
Nice.
So I can't complain about that. So I got the UR Darth Vader. Sold that for $2,200.
I've made my fair few on drops. I think the best one I done was Mickey, Steamboat Mickey, but I think it was only the common, the non-animated, and I got £700 for it because of the mint number.
What?
Which I think was like 609 or something like that. It weren't even that special.
Jesus, $700.
And at that time, it went instantly straight away gone. And then Donald Duck as well. I got one of the Lenticlia. I got Donald Duck, and that went for 700. That went for 700 at the time, and then next minute I look a couple of months later, and it's like $100.
Can't fucking give them away. Excuse the French.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, innit? You can't. That's the thing. Some things are getting like that. Well, at the minute, it's like one point I listed all my stuff on the market because I needed to go for one drop. And I thought, if I list everything on the market for floor right now, there's got to be something that's going to sell, right? Well, I waited 3 days to finally sell something out of all that stuff. Like, it was crazy. Just to make, I think it was like 30, 40 gems or something stupid.
Yeah.
Just didn't want to put more fiat into the app if it didn't need to. When I've got all them items just sat there. But I mean, when I first got into VEVE, I think one of the first things I'd done was, you mentioned earlier about the common comics being the in real life comics. Well, I actually believed in that vision, so I like mainly stat commons at the time. So I've got like a whole portfolio of like 150 at least commons in the first account. So I did believe in that vision, but at the same time now everything's just dirt cheap. So
yeah, well, but that's why I keep pumping more fiat in, because I don't see the point in selling what I've got when I know that it's going to increase in value in the future. And I know that anything I buy with fiat right now is also going to increase in value. I mean, I do little flips where I can to try and subsidize the money, the fiat that I put in, but I've got no problem putting fiat in to spend on the app right now with everything so cheap.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, you can't lose almost. The only way you can lose really is if VEVE goes bankrupt. But if it succeeds the way we're all counting on it succeeding, everything is going to at least triple. I did the maths a little while back, and if you start with $100, you only need to double your money something like 14 times, and you got $1 million.
that's how my first VEVE account started. I literally went from just flipping each one to flipping each one, and then if I got something I didn't really like and I could sell it to make profit, I'd make the free gems, or I'd go to the auctions and I'd buy stuff in the auctions. That's very overlooked, by the way, buying stuff in auctions.
Look, that's another thing that does my head in with this app is these auctions, man. Two things about it. Firstly, once you get down past the first like 10, once you click onto something and then back up out of the page, it puts you back up at the top of the list again.
Oh yeah,
That's
the
one
web
thing.
app and all that's crap.
Oh no, I'm talking about on my phone, mate. On my phone.
Oh yeah.
That's what's
And the other
putting me off
thing-
using it. What you just said, Duck and Cover. When I saw that happening, I just thought I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing is that you see all the time is like the whole thing's clogged up with people trying to sell stuff with like just random mid numbers for 10 times more than the floor, and it's just like, what's the point? So
At one point, the auction place used to be where you'd put your special mint numbers. Now it don't seem to really sell anything.
No. I have a look at it from time to time just to see what's going, but I don't bother with it really. I just I go off the floor prices.
Well, I used to like going to the auctions because I'd always just go down every floor, this used to be my daily habit, my daily routine. I'd go down the whole floor, seeing what were cheaper in the auctions. That's actually how I met NFT Landropy, because I actually bid on one of the first charity auctions because it was half the price, and I had no idea what it was, and I think I won like the first 4 or 5, and then I found out, obviously, then I found out what it was, and it was for charity and everything else. But yeah, so I'm always keeping an eye on the auctions. But if you put your special mint numbers there at the minute, you're not really getting any. There's not really any traction there at the minute.
No, this is definitely a buyer's market. It's going to be for a while. So, yeah, I say, you only have to double your money 14 times, but doing that in this market is easier said than done. You got to take those little $2, $3 profits. Hey, look, take care of the pennies, and the pounds will look after themselves.
I can't remember the YouTuber that first said that. It was like, it can't just always be big profits. It has to be, you got to be able to make the small game. I think it was Andrew Ellis, where he was like, you can make games, you start small. Yeah, I think it was him at the time, which he's actually gone on to do other things now.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in ages. He was a good lad, man. I like that guy.
Yeah, he's gone on to start like a life training course or something on them sort of lines.
He was studying at the same time, I think. So he had his, young and still. Yeah, he was great though. Really good.
Yeah.
Nice bloke.
And he was quick. He was quick building at the time.
Hey, look, guys, I'm sorry to dip on you, but I'm going to have to make a move. I think I'm going to start getting some food ready for my little one.
Likewise, I'm
That's
to
all right,
get some
mate.
food ready for myself.
Yeah, sorry, we've just robbed Anand from work here, so sorry about that.
All good. But,
and obviously it's Duck and Cover's daughter Daddy Day, so we've robbed him from that. Yeah, and obviously that special moment right there. So obviously everyone's got to go and enjoy their special moments now.
It's no biggie, man. She's at my place 1 week out of 2, so it's not like, I don't see her often.
Yeah, no, sorry to take you all away from your personal lives. Obviously, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having us, really.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I couldn't stick around longer. I'd love to, man.
And we know how to do it. We know how to do it now. It's easy. You just send the link, and happy to do it another time.
Yeah, this was literally our first test run, weren't it? So I think it's overly been a success, to be honest. I don't think we've had much problems apart from when we got rugged the first time.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how that will show up on YouTube, whether that's going to cut that in half or whether it's just going to show as one. So who knows what that's going to show.
We'll find out.
Shout out to everyone who showed up in the chat too, Dr. Strange, Munich, the team.
I was just about to say the same thing. Yeah, shout out to everyone in the chat. Thanks for showing up for the first one. Hopefully next one's a bit smoother, although I do think this one was pretty smooth. So
it was fine. It was good. Thanks for having us, and I am going to clock off as well.
Yep. No worries, mate. Well, I'll end the stream with you guys as well. So, right. So, if there's nothing else for you to say, anyone want to say anything else?
No, I'm good.
Good luck.
Other than hope you guys have a good one. I'm looking forward to hooking up the next time.
And the same as you. Yeah. Take care, people.
Thanks,
take care, everyone in the chat. I've been your host, bobsales. They've been Duck and Cover. That's been anand1kenobi. This time next year, we will be millionaires. A peace.
Let's go. See you guys.